that was revealed to the entire nation. So our entire nation stood at Sinai. So we believe that it's collectively, in our collective memory, we have the memory of prophecy. So it wasn't just on one person, it was on the entire nation. The entire nation experienced prophecy at Mount Sinai. This is a Jewish belief. In Islam,
but wasn't the Jews a chosen people?
So that's what the Quran says.
So do you not agree with that? Are they not chosen by God? Do you not agree?
What we believe is we were chosen to spread monotheism. Now, granted,
so you were differentiated from the rest of the world?
Granted, the Muslims have done a better job than the Jews, arguably, of spreading monotheism. There's far more Muslims in the world than there are Jews, but you can convert to Judaism, which is what I was telling you before. But that's where I've changed of thought. Do we believe we're the chosen people? So the Torah says we were chosen to spread monotheism. That's it. That's all. It doesn't mean we're chosen above other nations. We're not superior. We believe B'Tselem Elohim. Everybody is made in the same image in Judaism, whether you're Jewish or non-Jewish. The afterworld in Judaism is what I was saying before. It's called Olam Haba, or Jannah. It's an equivalent of Jannah. And anyone who does righteous deeds in this world has the potential to go there. It's not like Christianity where you need to believe in Jesus to go to heaven, or in Islam where you need to accept the instruction of Muhammad and take the Shahada to go to Jannah. In Judaism, if you do good deeds, you have the opportunity to go to Jannah.
So if you do good deeds and you reject Moses, then?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can go to Jannah?
Yeah, in Judaism.
If you reject Moses as a prophet?
In Judaism, it's not, that's what I'm saying, it's not like Islam. I've really got a big crowd in. I really actually wanted to share a bit about Israel and Palestine.
That's a boring topic, come on. That's been done to that.
And this hasn't.
No, seriously, if you don't believe in Moses as a Jew, are you saying that your salvation is still guaranteed?
In Judaism, the prophecy of of Moses was for the Jewish nation. Yeah. Jews believed that other prophets were sent to other nations, but for the Jews, we had the prophecy of Moses, and that was the commandments which we were then obliged to follow. Now, if someone else doesn't follow that prophecy, it makes no difference.
No, not someone else. I'm talking about the Jews, but in particular.
Yes. Oh, so Jews, so again, in Judaism we have a very similar concept to Islam, where only Allah knows.
With regards to the Prophet, for example, in Islam, if you reject the prophethood of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then your salvation is at stake, basically.
If someone is born Jewish, they have what we call a chiyuv, an obligation to follow the mitzvot which Moses communicated, and then further commandments, or not commandments, sorry, they're not commandments, further decrees were enacted by the rabbis, which were also instructed to follow.
So which implies it's mandatory for you to believe in Moses as a prophet of God. Because obviously if you're going to believe in the scripture, then you'll have to believe in the prophet who brought the scripture.
There's two separate things. There's what is a Jew obligated to do under Judaism, someone who's either converted to the faith or someone who was born of a Jewish mother. So there's what they're obligated to do, and then there's what the rest of the world is obligated to do. So if you are living in India and you've either been exposed to the Torah or you haven't been exposed to the Torah, but you spend your entire life doing good deeds, it seems a very bizarre religion that would say that person, a very bizarre God in my mind, that would say that person is destined to the hellfire because they didn't follow a prophet who was sent to a particular tribe 3,000 years ago in the Middle East. There's no connection between those people. It seems a very cruel God that would then cast those people into the hellfire. You can have people who've spent their entire life saving orphans, helping the homeless, doing incredible good deeds. It seems a callous God that would then cast them into the hellfire. So that was all I was saying. In Judaism, we don't have that difficulty because we believe people that do good deeds get whatever reward.
So for example, somebody who doesn't believe in God and does good deeds, what would be their salvation? What would they be?
It's not salvation. This is such Christian language. Salvation.
What's the Jewish word for that?
So we don't. Again, Judaism is a different.
Do you believe in hell and heaven, by the way?
In Judaism, the concept of hellfire is. So the afterlife in general isn't discussed much in Judaism. Judaism focuses on what we call Olam Hazeh, which is this world. All the commandments instruct you how to do good in this world. So giving charity helps people in this world, not some future world to come. So most of the Jewish scripture, like hell and heaven, aren't mentioned in the 5 books of Moses.
So you don't believe in the concept of afterlife, or you do?
So in Judaism there is a concept of afterlife.
And what is that?
It's not what we do. Because we don't dwell on it, we don't know a lot about it. The focus of the Jewish faith is to better this world. It's to improve this world. It's to help your neighbour. It's to love your neighbour. it's not to save your soul. Think about it. Think logically. If the purpose of this world is just to be a complete slave of God, Abdullah, to be a slave to Hashim, and just follow a perfect instruction, it seems a very almost shallow world. In contrast, if your purpose of this world is to enrich this world, to build it up, to make it better, to become a partner in the creation, to give charity, to help the homeless, to master our dominion, to create technology, to advance the sciences,
obviously,
that seems a much greater purpose.
Obviously doing the good things are to be done on this earth. So you're not going to go in heaven and start doing the charity, are you? You're going to do it on earth. That's the whole idea. And Moses did the same. Moses did the same thing, isn't it?
Judaism, is that
no, I'm talking about Judaism. Moses, when he thought about doing good things and all, obviously he gave you some sort of indication about what good you'll achieve in your afterlife, because it seems somehow you don't believe in the reward in the afterlife.
No, so as I said before,
and the punishment.
I said before, there's Olam Haba. But again, if your motivation to do good in this world is out of love for the Creator, that's very different than out of fear and selfish reward. If your only motivation in this world is to save your soul, that's quite inward and selfish.
No, that's what I'm just saying. It's not that shallow, trust me. Okay, when people do good things, obviously they want to please God, and I don't think that is shallow. It is not for fear of God. It is basically to please God, and the fear bit comes in when you start sinning, and that is what you need to separate. The sinning part is where you fear God. That if you're going to commit this sin, you're going to be punished. But when you're doing a good thing, that is to please God. It's not for the fear of God. You got the two things mixed up: the fear and the pleasing of God. So I really. Joseph, I just want to ask you a question with regards to if you do good things.
I need to go and give this guy a present, which is
right. Fair enough. Yeah. If you do good things, what is the concept of afterlife in Judaism? That's all I want to know, based on your scripture.
So it's everything we have on the world to come is largely from the Talmud. The Old Testament and the prophets don't.
Oh, you mean the oral tradition, the Talmud?
So the Talmud is more than the oral tradition. It is the oral tradition. Plus, it's also the legal system. It's also lots of opinions of different rabbis giving advice. So there's a whole lot contained within the Talmud.
What about the Torah?
The Torah, we believe, is the book that was Moses' prophecy.
Does the Torah have a concept of afterlife?
It does not dwell on the afterlife, no.
Not about dwelling. Does it have anything at all in terms of the afterlife?
To my knowledge, there is no direct mention of Olam Haba or Olam Hazeh in the 5 books of Moses.
Yeah.
There are allusions to it from the prophets. There is... But yeah, in the actual 5 books of Moses, to my knowledge, and I'm not a scholar, there's no mention of the Olam Haba.
Okay, that's quite interesting actually. Because
whereas contrast that to the Quran.
From an Abrahamic faith, I thought it was quite similar in terms of hell and heaven. Are there different sects of Judaism which believe in the hell and the heaven concept?
So all Jews believe in. I mean, I can't say all Jews. There are Jews that are atheists, but.
I'm sure there are different sects within Judaism.
So in the third, we have basically a rabbi called Maimonides, the Rambam,
yes,
and he codified the 13 principles of faith. Right. One of them is to believe in the world that comes. So you can't be a traditionally practicing Jew and not believe in Olam Haba. But the difference between Islam and Judaism is, while the world to come is the focus of Islam, it's only a part of Judaism, and the true focus of the Torah is how to make this world a better place. All the commandments are how do you make this place better.
No, that's obviously
and
the
monotheism
case,
is wrapped into that, because it was what you were touching on before. Yeah. If you recognise there's a creator, if you recognise that this world didn't come into existence out of nothing, and you're not an atheist, but you actually believe in a creator, then understanding the morality and the purpose behind existence will help you to be a better person. It shows the debt of gratitude. It shows the framework of existence. I
mean, when I read Genesis, I see a concept of heaven over there. I'm surprised that you said that there wasn't one.
So it depends what.
So for example, when Adam, he ate of the apple, or whatever fruit it was of that tree. Where was this tree? Was it on earth?
So Gan Eden is understood by almost the overwhelming majority of Jews. Right. Now, as I said, Judaism.
I talk about Eden.
Gan Eden is
Eden, yes?
the Garden of Eden. Yeah.
So the Garden of Eden, according to you, is in heaven or is on earth?
All Jews is here. There are some small groups of Jews that would hold different.
And where do you think is God? Is God on earth or is somewhere else?
So in Judaism, God is separate from His creation.
Of course He is, but where is He?
Well, if He's separate from the creation, He's.
Where is He?
He's separate from the creation.
I know that, but where is He?
I don't know. You tell me where God is.
No, I'm asking based on your religion.
So all we say is, in Judaism, we're very, very diligent, we're very careful not to place attributes not to apply human or finite.
I'm not asking you to commit any blasphemy. I'm just asking, based on your scripture, where is God?
So I'm saying a place is something finite, it's something tangible. I also say I'm from the northeast of England and I named the village. That's a place that other people can visit.
Okay.
When you ask me which place is God in, it's an illogical question. If you believe the Creator is infinite.
So is he without place, basically? Is he beyond time and space?
So
is that what he's saying?
These are questions I don't have the answer to. I'm sorry.
That's a better answer, actually. Because it seemed like you were somehow not clear about it.
What I'm saying is Jews are very...
Because you know there's a lot of mention between...
Jews are very, very careful as to what they say about God.
Well, so are we.
We can't even say...
We don't want to blaspheme against God, and neither do you. And I don't want you to blaspheme against. It's just, if you don't know, say I don't know. Because I say I don't know many times if I don't know certain things. But when we read the Old Testament, I mean, I see a lot of reference to heaven and hell.
I recommend reading it in Hebrew. Read it in Hebrew.
I don't know Hebrew, so I'll have to learn that first.
What you can do, is where you see the word heaven or hell in the 5 books of Moses.
Okay.
Look at what the word is in Hebrew, and you can get that translation really easily online. Right. And then just use...
How do you say heaven and hell in Hebrew?
Olam haba, the world to come, and Olam hazeh, this world.
Okay.
So if you then look for those words, they don't appear anywhere in the Old
Testament. So in terms of when you say the afterlife, what do you understand by this? Say for example, a person who lives for 60, 70, 80 years, and he dies, he goes to his grave. What happens then, as far as your religion or your faith is concerned?
As I told you before, in Judaism we believe in the concept of an afterlife. We believe.
Yeah, what is that? Explain that to me.
I'm saying it dwells very little on that.
So are you saying you don't know?
So I can quote lines from the Mishnah.
Yeah, fair enough. But translate it for me because I don't know Hebrew.
No.
Go on.
For instance, it's described as actually because it will misrepresent what we... If I were to quote, there's quotes that equate a particular holiday we have every week to being a small part of what heaven, the Olam Haba would be. It's saying it's...
I mean, give me a brief summary. I don't want the whole
what I was going to say
detail about
in Judaism is what I said before. We don't focus on...
I'm not asking you to focus on anything. Just want to know what it is.
I don't, again, to do with what I know and what I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's not. So you don't know, that's fine. I mean, if you don't know, that's fine.
I'm telling you what Judaism says. Judaism does not dwell on that. So most Jews have very little information about what Olam Haba is. So we believe in the eternity of the soul, which is something which is in Islam.
You believe in the eternity of
the soul, the neshama.
Okay, so obviously you don't believe in reincarnation.
No.
Okay.
Oh no, wait, let me preface. No, I don't.
Right.
And what I would consider to be the most authentic. So we have rabbis that lived in Babylon who were great scholars, and they were basically the codifiers of the Talmud.
Right.
The rabbis that came after them were called the Gaonim. One of the greatest of those rabbis was Saadia Gaon.
Sure.
Saadia Gaon wrote an entire book called, it doesn't matter what it's called, and in that he writes that reincarnation is not a Jewish concept. It's outside of our faith. However, today, born largely out of the Kabbalistic and Hasidic movements, there are many Jews that do believe in reincarnation. So I personally don't, because I subscribe to what I believe to be more authentic.
But they're not mainstream, are they?
No. So again, a lot of mainstream Orthodox Jews believe in reincarnation. However,
seriously?
So some of our great, I'm also Orthodox.
So when you say reincarnation, you mean like the way the Hindus believe in, or like maybe the Sikhs believe in?
Yeah.
So for example, your soul comes into another body.
So some will believe
whether of an animal or a human being or whatever.
Some will believe it comes into a body. Some will believe it comes into an animal. I personally don't believe in reincarnation. I believe that's the most authentic Jewish position. The oldest sources we have discussing reincarnation say it's outside of our faith. However, a religion that's been around for thousands of years, it's going to have great variety. I think one of the big distinctions between Islam and Judaism is how we handle those differences. In Judaism, if a Jew believes in reincarnation and another Jew doesn't, we still recognize each other as being part of the same faith. We don't scream takfiri and religious wars because some person particularly follows this descendant of Muhammad, another person follows this Sahab. So we have a very different approach to the differences within our faith. Jews, for instance, aren't slaughtering each other around the world because of religious differences. So while reincarnation, I consider reincarnation...
Well, they were busy slaughtering the Canaanites, but that's a different story. You see what I mean? So in terms of you're trying to put a negative somehow to Islam, and Jews are like some sort of saints, but they're not. But anyway, let's not go into that. I'm talking about the afterlife. I don't know how we got into that. It seems like you don't know what happens after life to you. That's what it implies to me.
What Judaism teaches is to focus on this world.
That's fine. Look, in Islam, look. I'll tell you what. In Islam also, we focus on this earth, and then the result is in the afterlife. We don't just focus. Oh, we are doing this good thing because we're going to be punished by Allah or something.
Let me finish.
Yeah,
the focus of most Muslims today is the concept of reward and punishment and the afterlife, the world to come. That's why when jihadists blow themselves up.
There you go again.
There we go.
Why do you do this, Joseph? Why do you do this? I'm asking you about the afterlife.
He's asking about your religion and the afterlife.
It's important. No, you're right.
I really touched the raw nerve there, didn't I? It's like a ripple that makes you go.
No, look. In the term, the thing about
just a minute. I came here for a brief conversation. There's now 30 people around me. You asked me a question. I responded my way.
But you're talking only to one person.
Booing me and say that you don't like the way I respond.
Joseph,
if you don't like the way I respond, don't ask me the question.
Joseph, you're talking only to one person. So I mean,
I'm not talking to one person there.
Well, I don't see anyone else talking to you, but that's important. Look, I just want to know, based on your faith, what happens to you after you die. That's all I want to know.
I was trying to answer in my words.
Okay, fair enough. Go on.
And I got a boo. So I'll answer in my words, but if you don't like my answer, you're more than welcome to walk away. That's fine. No problem. Go on. Answer in your words. In Islam, the focus of this world is the world to come. And this is why we're having difficulty with this conversation. And this is why I'm
having difficulty.
No, you're having difficulty with my answer. My answer isn't satisfying you, which is why you keep on probing and asking about the world to come.
No, because you keep saying that I don't know. You're implying I don't know what happens to me after life. And then you come back to focusing on this earth. Every time I ask you what happens to you after life, you come back to this life.
So let me finish.
I'm asking from your faith. What happens to you after life? That's all I want to know.
Within Islam, the focus is this world, yeah?
No, I didn't say that. I said
it's a big
I said based on what happens, what you do on this earth, your afterlife will be determined based on that. But ultimately, it is the mercy, it is the rahmah of Allah that you go to Jannah, and that is what's important.
Perfect.
But you see, every time I ask you about your faith, you come and talk about Islam. Tell me what you believe in the afterlife.
Conversation. With the greatest respect, I'm not here.
That's fine. You can ask me about Islam. No problem. Look, I'll tell you, if you ask me about Islam, what happens to me after life, I'll answer that. No problem.
I've answered the question several times.
No, you didn't. You said I don't know.
No, I said the focus of Judaism is on this world. Is in this world. All of the commandments are focused on this world.
Okay.
The world to come plays a tiny part in the Jewish faith, so much so it isn't mentioned in the 5 books of Moses. It is a motivation. It is something that is there in the back of our mind, but our primary motivation is to do good in this world. And this is why I brought in Islam. If you flip that, the purpose of Islam is not this world. The purpose is exactly what you just said. The purpose of doing good deeds in this world is so that you
determine
can
in your afterlife.
Your word before.
I have no problem with that.
Salvation in the
afterlife. I have no problem with that. But when you keep saying that the focus is the afterlife, both of them are important. What you do in this life is going to determine your afterlife. So it's very important what you do in this life. So that's the reason I'm telling you. What you're saying is not very different to what we believe in, because when you say the focus in this life is what is your priority, it is also the Muslim priority, because what happens here is going to determine the afterlife. So if you're not going to be focused on what you're doing here, then what is the point of you you wanting some sort of a reward in the afterlife? So this is very important.
There's a lot of similarities.
And that's the reason one of the main pillars of Islam is zakat, which is in this life. One of the main pillars is salah, which is in this life. One of the main pillars is to fast, which is also in this life. All this focus is where? In this life. So for you to say that it is not in this life is a misrepresentation of Islam, unfortunately.
Okay, fine. I apologize if I've misrepresented.
No,
so
that's
what I'm
fine,
trying to do is, you will never get a Jew, or you very, very rarely. I mean, it's such an alien concept of Judaism that, to my knowledge, it's never happened, that would commit a suicide attack, which many Muslims do around the world.
Why bringing that up?
Because
seriously, why bringing that up? Do you really think
why is it so uncomfortable? I'm sorry. It's not. There are many Muslims that kill. I'm not saying it.
No, even if it was, I'll tell you what. Suicide is something that Islam prohibits, and Christianity prohibits, and Judaism prohibits. Okay. How many people do you know? Wait. How many people do you know who committed suicide before?
Many.
I know you want to.
Thousands of people.
Joseph, I know you love the topic of Israel and Palestine. I know you want to go into that. I know, but look, we are not talking about that now.
But with the greatest,
if you want to talk with that,
that's why I came here. With the greatest respect, this crowd.
Then just say you don't want to talk about this. Simple as that. If I'm holding you against your will, then say so.
You're not holding me against my will. I'm trying to.
But the topic we're discussing right now is not Israel and Palestine or suicide bombers.
Suicide bombing has nothing to do with Israel and Palestine.
Insinuating something else. You're actually saying something else.
All right, anyway, Joseph, if you feel uncomfortable talking about this topic, we'll stop. Okay?
Exactly. This is.
I'll tell you what, let's stop if you feel uncomfortable about this topic.